Okay, good to see everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. Another Monday, week of Christmas. Say Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. It's a great week. It's a glorious week. Might as well get to a couple of things. First of all, the game. Watched the game. We played very, very well. Even when we weren't producing as much, they had two scoring drives. If you look at it, penalty-aided mostly on the one, and then where we didn't get the ball rolling so much in the first half offensively, we're really more our own doing. You know, we had a couple key mistakes here and there that we worked to clean up, and I would give a lot of the credit to that to the Browns too, because they were throwing everything at us, both sides, offensively and defensively. A lot of scheme offensively, a lot of different pick routes and different challenging things like that on offense, and then defensively a lot of aggressive calls, a lot of zero pressures and things like that. And I thought our guys handled them very well. I thought they'd kind of come back to the composure part of it. Both sides of the ball and special teams played with great composure. Coaches kept their cool, and we found a way then to make some plays. As far as Mark Ingram, he has a mild to moderate calf strain, so he won't play this week. He probably wouldn't play this week no matter what circumstance was with that calf strain. We'd be looking for him to be ready in 2 weeks, so we'll see how that goes going forward. And then what we're going to do is we're going to not play certain guys in this game. We won't play Lamar. Marshall won't play. Earl won't play. Brandon Williams won't play. After that, we'll still decide as the week goes on. You know, it's not like you can sit. I think one thing that's really important to understand is this is pro football, not college football. You can't sit your starters in a game. It's not how it works. You have up to 7 options if you're completely healthy. We don't know exactly, if we'll be completely healthy or not. We're very healthy, so that does bode well. It will be an opportunity for some guys to play who've been inactive, so that's a big plus for us. Give some guys some experience, and we'll just roll with it. But our intention will be, and our plan will be, all hands on deck to win the game. You know, with all those guys who'll be playing, they're all on our 53-man roster. And they'll be excited to play, and we'll be excited to play. It's a rivalry game. It's the Steelers. They have everything to play for, and we recognize that. And we'll be looking to put our absolute best foot forward, play our best football game with the guys that we'll be playing with, which will be, for the most part, most of our football team, with a few exceptions. So that's where we're at with that. Okay? What questions do you have?
Coach, was this something that you discussed? You said yesterday you would talk about it with the Leadership Council. Is that how you arrived at it with that sort of discussion?
Yeah, I mean, there's a process to it. It was a little more informal, I would say, because we didn't bring the guys in today. So I talked to a few guys on the plane, and Marshall was the main guy that I had some time talking to about it. I know everybody, I feel confident that everybody's on board. I talked to the coordinators, assistant head coach, and Scott Cohen was involved in that today, and it was pretty straightforward. It's not really hard. It's not a hard decision, really, if you really sit back and think about it. It's a solid decision.
You play both other quarterbacks?
Possibly, yeah, sure, Peter. That's something we've talked about. I think that's on the table, yeah.
John, as you think about the rest factor for guys who will be active, what will be sort of the main factors that you look at in making those decisions?
For who will be active?
Well, I mean, when you decide how much the guys who are active are going to play, in other words, what will be the main?
Well, the guys who are active, it depends on who it is. It depends on who it is. That's really all I can say. I think you can kind of take it from there. It'll be case by case without getting into every different guy. Most of the guys are going to play the whole game. Most of the guys will have a full plate because guys will be playing both their offense or defensive position and special teams in a lot of cases. There'll be some guys pulling some heavy duty in the game. So just case by case.
John, I guess the people that will argue against it is like, the momentum that carried it. But it sounds like from how you described it, it's an easy decision, you think.
Well, I think it's a solid decision. I don't know if it's easy. I think you can make. There's a strong case to be made either way, and I really recognize the other side of it. I think it's a valid case. It's real. So you just got to kind of balance it out between two. It's two good choices, really. We are going to have to practice really well. That's our whole team, and really most of the whole team's playing anyway. And the guys who aren't playing are going to have to practice. Our goal is now in between. We want to win this game. That's next on the agenda. And then after that, our goal is to be the very best football team we can be come that divisional game. So we've got a number of practices between now and then, and we've got to make the most of every practice, every rep, every meeting, everything we do to be a much better football team than we are right now.
John, everything's, with you is always about team, but Brandon Carr has an interesting streak that I know he's very proud of. He's a veteran. Is he a guy that you consider sitting, or would you, talk to him about that in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, it's case by case. Right now, Brandon's on my list to play, and if something changes with that, it'll change, so, yeah, we're kind of aware of that, but also, I believe Brandon wants to play, so.
And John, with Robert Griffin, he's gotten into some games this year. What kind of an opportunity do you think that presents for him? Probably getting most extensive playing time for him this one Sunday.
Well, yeah, it's a great opportunity for anybody that's playing in the game, and so for all the guys, and certainly in his case, it's a big deal. He's played already this year, which says a lot. Backup quarterbacks don't always play unless there's an injury, but he still played quite a bit, relatively speaking, and done a good job. So yeah, it'll be a great opportunity for him, and I fully expect him to make the most of it and play a very good football game.
How about the competitor in you? You're a very competitive guy, and the Steelers have something to play for. Will that be mentioned, the fact that, you're not just playing a team that's in a lame duck situation?
Yeah, I think I just said that. I think I just said that a minute ago. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're going to be we're going to do everything we can to play our best football game and win the game. That's what we're going out there to do. We know who we're playing. We know what kind of game it'll be, and we're going to go out there and play our kind of football game.
You said practice will be important. Do you make any tweaks to practice because you have a couple weeks off to try and shake off some of the rust, or same schedule?
There'll be some adjustments in the bye week. We'll have a bye week schedule that we're planning right now. Since we won't be preparing for a game, it won't be quite like a game week, to your point. So that'll be part of it, yeah.
Did your experience from 2012 help inform your decisions here, or do you look at it as just a totally different situation? Did your experience from 2012 help inform your decisions here, or was it a totally different situation?
No, probably. I didn't really gauge how much or what. You do go by all your experiences. You do go by your feelings about it, and conversations too, of course, and just all that factors in. I prayed about it too, just so you know.
Lamar said yesterday that he wanted to play maybe some. Did you talk, when you talked to him and told him that he wasn't, was he completely on board?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet about it. So I know he'll be completely on board, though. Yeah, he wants to play. I saw the press conference, and I appreciated it. But one thing about Lamar and all of our guys, they'll be 100% behind the guys who are playing, and they'll be doing everything they can do to get those guys prepared to play in this game and win the football game.
Who informed Lamar?
I don't know.
You may have just found out right now.
I think he probably talked to his position coach, would be my guess. But we're moving pretty fast here, Jerry. We're moving pretty fast. We'll be all right.
John, how pleased were you with how the run defense played yesterday? And in general, you guys are in dime a lot, and on paper, that tends to be a package that can be susceptible against the run. But considering how much you play dime, how pleased have you been with the run defense, I guess, specifically Sunday?
Yeah, I think our front did a great job. The guys that were in there. And you talk about dime, we have a lot of iterations of that. And there were a number of those types of personnel groupings that had bigger personnel at D-line. Though Chuck Clark was playing linebacker quite a bit. Anthony Levine was at linebacker. Sometimes we had two defensive backs in there at linebacker, more in the passing downs. So yeah, those guys did a great job. I would start with the front. I think the tackles played exceptionally well, and the defensive end set the edge very well. With just a couple of exceptions, our run defense was really, really solid.
John, you often get these questions about Lamar and your reactions and stuff like that. Watching Mark Andrews yesterday virtually dominate the game, did you envision anything like that when you guys drafted him?
It's funny. I don't know if I've mentioned this publicly, but I have mentioned it to Eric numerous times. But when we first did the evaluation on Mark Andrews, these guys get kind of slotted where they're at and stuff. And the truth is, I think hindsight would say that he was undervalued, by the NFL world of evaluation, and by the fact that he went in the third round, right, in the end. And Eric was really good about knowing where he would go. But when we first did it, he was our top tight end in the rankings, and Hayden was right there. And then the kid that's up in Philly was right there too, off the top of my head. There might have been another guy or two, because it was a good class for tight ends. But, You know, Mark was my top guy, and a number of the scouts' his top guy, and kind of sprinkled around that top 4, right? And then, and you watch him on tape, it's because he always got open, he always made catches, he had a knack. And you watch the tape, and you're like, well, I mean, is it going to be that easy in the NFL? Not easy is not the right word, but is he going to be able to get that open and make those plays in the NFL? Because he was wide open at Oklahoma, it seemed like, so often. Well, he's just a guy that translated. You know, he's a guy that came here, and yeah, he had that feel translated to sitting down in the right place, to beating man coverage, to making great catches. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You never exactly know what college is going to translate into the NFL, and I think he's the guy that your first gut instinct watching the tape ended up being right. And I give Eric and Ozzie tons of credit for knowing where he was going to go, and we were able to get him in the 3rd round.
Speaking of that run defense, the play that Jalen Ferguson made off the edge on that 3rd and 1 play to Kareem Hunt, can you just talk about the play, what it says about him to make that play, for tackle for loss, and the play call there seemed to be just perfect in that situation and kind of catching him in a gadget play?
Right. Well, you know, I mean, we were just bringing a run pressure. You know, bringing guys, and we had one guy coming inside and one guy coming off the edge, and our guys, you know, inside did a great job of getting off blocks. But you know, I believe that Earl Thomas was coming off the edge there, wasn't he, as well? And Jalen, as you said, they just were bringing it. You know, they were bringing it hard. They didn't know what play it was going to be. It's not a play that we had practiced against or anything. We didn't expect to get that play, although we were prepared for trick plays. We knew that they had a number of guys that could throw, and we actually knew that 27 could throw as well. But I think our guys just playing fast and made the play. It's credit to them, yeah.
John, we got off the Ingram stuff quickly to ask you about who's playing and stuff. So all in all, this was pretty positive news for you guys, given how bad it looked at a time.
I don't really put a measurement on that part of it, but so I don't want you to put words in my mouth like that. You know, when you do the quote, I know you would never do that though. But yeah, it's good news. It's good news.
John, not wanting to give anything away, but with RG3 in there, obviously with Lamar, you can do things that you can't do with other quarterbacks. He's a dual threat himself. How different could this offense look Sunday, and maybe how useful could that be for just, you know, maybe future experimentation as you guys look ahead to the playoffs?
Yeah, I guess it could. You know, I mean, it's a pretty deep question, and I'm sure that it'll be kind of part of the process, you know, as we put the game plan together. You know, RG3 has a great skill set, you know. Some things similar to Lamar, some things different, though, you know. They're not exactly the same by any stretch. So we will definitely try to tailor it toward what he does really well and does best, like we always do with Lamar. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. You know, it's still Monday, so we've got a lot of work to do on that.
John, you challenged the Jimmy Smith pass interference call. Because it looked like it was uncatchable.
Right.
Is that something that they can review? Is that part of the review of if it's uncatchable? Is that part of it? I don't know if there's different elements or not.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I wish I did know, because that's what I was challenging. I thought the contact was minimal. I mean, I don't think there was any contact that made a difference. That's just my opinion. That's why I challenged it. And then the ball was 4 feet over his head. So, you know, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? It's crazy. So.
Brian, you said you heard some of the post-game press conferences that Marlon Humphrey was glowing about how his team's together. You thought the same thing. Is that maybe one of the reasons, besides skill set, that this team is 13-2 now?
I would say so, David. You know, it's like what comes first? Well, you know, they kind of go together, you know, and momentum gets built on other things, and it just kind of, once you can start generating that momentum word that Jerry's going to, Jerry picked his head up there on that momentum word. It's a lot of history there, right? But you feel vindicated now. But I do feel like it's a big part of it. You know, I think camaraderie, you know, family, brotherhood, all those words, they do stand for something, you know, and we do have that. You know, it's fun to be, it's joy. It's been a joy to be around these guys because they work. I'm a coach. I want guys to come in and work on football. You know, I don't want them to be, you know, distracted and thinking about a bunch of other things. But I do want them to have fun, and you like to have a bunch of guys that love football because that's what we're here for, you know. That's what we're about. And these guys are that. So that, to me, has a big part of what we're doing, what we're accomplishing.
You guys have, as you pointed out, you've taken each goal one at a time, made the playoffs, won the division, won the #1 seed. Steve, there any anxiousness or, I mean, among the coaching staff? The next goal is 3 weeks away. I mean, you know, it's that far away. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but, you know, it's something you've been doing for 4 months and 5 months, and it's.
Just kind of want to get to it, yeah. I could see the thought on it, but I think what we thought more about what I'm going to talk to the guys about is we got a 3-week opportunity between now and this game to get better, you know, and we need to be the best team we can be going into. Like, we're going to play a great football team, you know, and then we're going to hopefully earn the right to have the home field in the championship game. We haven't earned that yet. We're in the #1 seed, but people say you've got home field throughout. Well, you only have home field throughout if you win the divisional game. You've got to earn the championship game, right? So we're going to have to be we're going to have to be a better football team than we are right now by a good margin to win that football team. So that's really, I'm looking at it as an opportunity for 3 weeks to get better.
John, we talk so much about guys that have helped this team on defense on the fly. What did you think of LJ Fort yesterday? And he lost 2 interceptions, 1 on a penalty and 1 on replay.
Yeah, great. LJ, what an addition, you know. Special teams, too, he had a couple tackles. You know, I want to compare that interception to the one in Pittsburgh, number 55 had, you know, when the ball didn't move or did move when it hit the ground, you know. So didn't lose control, lost control. I don't get it. I don't know. Explain it to me, please, so we can understand it. But I thought that he got an interception there. Yeah.
John, because of the timing of Mark's injury, you had about a quarter where Gus and Justice were your 2 running backs. What did those guys show you, and did you learn something about how they sort of complement each other?
Yeah, they. I don't know about that. I guess they complement each other really well. Yeah, because you know, got a speed guy and a quick guy and a smaller guy but I don't want to take anything away from Gus's acceleration either. You know, and he's just a bigger guy. But it was just reinforcing, I think, more than anything, Aaron, that they both played so well. It's good to see Justice break out and have a couple runs. I mean, we've seen that from Gus. You know, he's been very consistent. So that was good.
Justice, have you seen him get better throughout the year in practice, even though we maybe haven't seen it in the game as much?
Yeah, I've been talking to him for about 3 weeks. You're going to get a breakout run here, man. I mean, you're going to get one that's going to go, you know. And then the last couple of games, it just wasn't quite happened, but it did this game, you know, with was about 20-yard run, I think. So yeah, he's been doing great in practice. So it's good to see it happen in the game.
All right.
That's that. Great. Thanks.
Nice job.